Imagine you're driving down a highway at dusk, gripping the wheel so tightly your knuckles turn white, convinced that if you just hold on hard enough, you can control every curve, every car, every second of the journey. Now picture this. The road isn't yours to command. The other drivers, the weather, the unexpected potholes, they don't care about your grip. And yet you're exhausted, not because the drive is tough, but because you're fighting a battle you were never meant to win. Welcome to ZENLIGHT, where we don't just motivate, we arm your mind with the tools to thrive in a world that refuses to bend. Today, we're diving into the most dangerous lie you've ever believed, the illusion of control. Stick with me, because by the end of this episode, you'll learn how to let go of what's draining you, reclaim your peace, and move through life with a quiet, unshakable strength. This isn't just philosophy, it's a blueprint for dominating your mind. In the chaos of 2025, let's begin. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a storm, rain pounding, winds howling, chaos swirling around you. Most people would run for cover, scream at the sky, or try to wrestle the storm into submission. But what if I told you the real power lies in standing still? Not fighting, not fleeing, but observing, calm, centered, untouchable. The Stoics, those ancient masters of the mind, knew this secret 2,000 years ago. Epictetus, a man born into slavery, yet freer than most emperors, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not just wisdom, it's a weapon. Because the moment you stop trying to control what's beyond your reach, you unlock a clarity that makes you dangerous. Dangerous to chaos, dangerous to distraction, dangerous to anything that tries to pull you off your path. But let's be real. We live in a world that trains us to cling. From the moment you wake up, your phone buzzes with notifications, texts, emails, news alerts, each one whispering, react, care, control. You check your inbox, hoping your boss replies the way you want. You scroll X, waiting for likes on your post. You plan your day down to the minute, convinced that if you just organize it perfectly, life will obey. And when it doesn't, when the meeting gets canceled, when someone ghosts you, when the rain ruins your plans, you feel it. That tightness in your chest, that flicker of anger, that quiet despair. You're not tired because life is hard. You're tired because you're carrying a weight you were never meant to hold. Expectations, outcomes, other people's choices, they're not yours to command. And the tighter you grip, the faster they slip through your fingers. Let's pause for a second. Think about the last time you felt that weight. Maybe it was an argument with someone who just wouldn't listen, no matter how hard you tried to make them see your point. Maybe it was a project at work that fell apart despite your late nights and endless emails. Or maybe it was something smaller, a rude cashier, a delayed flight, a moment when life reminded you it doesn't follow your script. What did you do? Did you spiral, replaying the moment in your head? Did you fight to fix it, to force the outcome you wanted? Or did you let it go, choosing your peace over the chaos? Most of us don't choose peace. We're taught to fight, to control, to win. But what if winning doesn't look like victory over others? What if you've just taken the first step, seeing through the illusion of control, realizing that the world outside you isn't yours to command? But now, let's turn inward, because the real game isn't out there. It's in here, in the 6 inches between your ears. Welcome back to ZENLIGHT 8, where we're not just talking about surviving the chaos of 2025, we're building a mind so strong it becomes your greatest weapon. Today, we're diving into the only territory you'll ever truly own, yourself. Your thoughts, your reactions, your silence, they're the only real estate that matters. And by the end of this episode, you'll have the tools to fortify that territory, to make it a fortress no one can breach. Stick with me, because this isn't just about peace. It's about becoming the kind of person who walks into any room, any crisis, any betrayal, and remains untouchable. Let's get to work. Imagine your life as a city. Out there, beyond the you. Walls are the things you don't control. Your job, your relationships, the economy, the opinions of others. They're like neighboring territories, constantly shifting, sometimes friendly, sometimes hostile. You can negotiate with them, trade with them, even fight them, but you'll never own them. They're rented land, temporary at best. Now, inside the walls of your city, there's one domain that's yours alone: your mind. Your thoughts are the streets, your reactions the gates, your discipline the guards. But here's the question: how secure is your city? Are the gates wide open, letting every stray emotion, every outside opinion, every bit of noise walk right in? Or have you built walls so strong that nothing gets through unless you allow it? Most people don't live in a fortress. They live in a marketplace, their minds cluttered with the voices of others, their peace sold to the highest bidder. They let their boss's criticism dictate their worth. They let a friend's silence spark a spiral of doubt. They let the news cycle decide their mood. That's not freedom. That's surrender. And it's why so many people feel fragile. Like one wrong move from the world could shatter them. But you're done with that. Because the Stoics taught us something radical. The only thing you can ever truly govern is yourself. Not your circumstances, not other people's choices, but the way you think, the way you act, the way you stand when the world tries to push you down. Seneca, another Stoic heavyweight, put it like this: we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Think about that. How many times have you lost sleep over something that never even happened? A conversation you're dreading, a failure you're anticipating, a slight you're sure someone meant. Your mind isn't just your territory, it's your battlefield. And if you don't master it, it'll master you. Let's make this real. Think about the last time someone got under your skin. Maybe it was a coworker who took credit for your idea in a meeting. Maybe it was a partner who didn't show up the way you needed them to. Or maybe it was a stranger on X who left a snarky comment on your post. What happened next? Did you fire back, letting their words pull you into a fight? Did you stew in silence, replaying the moment until it consumed you? Or did you pause, observe, and choose your response? Most people don't choose. They react, handing over the keys to their city without a second thought. But the Stoics knew better. They knew that every reaction is a choice, and every choice is a chance to build your strength. Let me tell you about James, a guy I know from Chicago who learned this the hard way. He was a sales rep, always chasing quotas, always trying to win over clients who played hardball. He'd come home drained, not because the job was tough, but because he let every rejection, every cold email, every missed deal chip away at his confidence. He'd rant about his clients' attitudes, obsess over what he could have said differently, and check his phone at 2 a.m. for responses that never came. His mind wasn't his own. It belonged to his inbox, his numbers, his clients' whims. One day, after losing a big account, he hit a breaking point. He took a walk by Lake Michigan, phone off, and started journaling. He wrote down everything he couldn't control: the client's decision, the market, his boss's expectations. Then he wrote what he could control: his effort, his attitude, his next pitch. That shift changed everything. He stopped chasing what wasn't his. He started building his city, sharpening his skills, guarding his energy, choosing when to engage and when to walk away. Within a year, he wasn't just hitting quotas, he was leading his team. Not because the world changed, but because he did. That's what we're talking about today, turning your mind into a fortress, a place where no one gets in unless you open the gate. So how do you do it? Start with a simple practice I call the gatekeeper rule. Every time a thought or emotion tries to enter your mind, stop it at the gate and ask, does this serve me? Does it make me stronger, clearer, better? If it doesn't, shut the gate. That angry thought about your coworker's slight, shut it down. That worry about tomorrow's meeting, let it go. That urge to check your phone for a text that might not even be there, deny it entry. This isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about choosing which ones get a seat at your table. Try this for 1 week. Every morning, take 5 minutes to journal 2 lists: what you can't control and what you can. The weather, other people's opinions, the traffic on your commute. Those go in the can't control column. Your effort, your words, your focus. Those go in the can control column. Then, throughout the day, when something shakes you, check your lists. Remind yourself where your power lies. You'll be amazed at how much lighter you feel when you stop carrying the world's weight. But here's the deeper truth. Building your fortress isn't just about keeping things out. It's about creating a space where you can grow, where you can sharpen your mind, where you can become the person you're meant to be. Because when you govern yourself, when you choose your thoughts, guard your peace, and act with intention, you become something rare. You become unreadable. Not because you're hiding, but because you're whole. People can't manipulate what they can't reach. They can't trigger what they don't understand. And that's power. Not the loud, flashy kind, but the quiet, unshakable kind that changes how you move through the world. So I want you to take a stand right now. In the comments, write this: I am my only territory. Say it with conviction, because this is your declaration of independence, not from the world, but from its chaos. You're not here to control what's outside your walls. You're here to build a city so strong it stands through any storm. That's the ZENLIGHT 8-way. We don't chase, we choose. We don't react, we rule. And we're just getting started. Up next, we're going deeper. How do you lock down your mind, filter every thought, and turn your silence into a weapon? Stay with me, because the fortress you're building is about to get impenetrable. You've claimed your territory, staked out the only ground that's truly yours, your mind. But claiming it is one thing, defending it is another. Welcome back to ZENLIGHT, where we're not just talking about surviving the noise of 2025. We're forging a mind so disciplined, so unbreakable, that it becomes your greatest asset. Today we're diving into mental control, the art of turning your mind into a fortress, cold, silent, impenetrable. By the end of this episode, you'll have the tools to lock down your thoughts, filter out the chaos, and move through life with a clarity that makes you untouchable. Stick with me, because this isn't about numbing your emotions. It's about wielding them like a blade. Let's build your fortress. Picture your mind as a castle perched on a cliff, surrounded by a stormy sea. The waves crash, the winds howl, but inside those walls, it's calm. The gates are locked, the guards are vigilant, and nothing gets in without your permission. Now ask yourself, what does your mind look like right now? Is it a fortress, or is it a revolving door, letting every stray thought, every jab from a coworker, every ping from your phone walk right in? Most people don't guard their minds, they decorate them. They fill their heads with opinions, worries, and noise, then wonder why they crumble under pressure. They let a single text left on read ruin their day. They let a stranger's comment on X spark a spiral of self-doubt. They let yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's fears take up space that should be sacred. That's not living. That's leasing your mind to the world. But you're done with that. Because mental control isn't about shutting off your feelings. It's about choosing which ones get to stay. It's about discipline, the kind that makes you sovereign over your thoughts, not their servant. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Epictetus, that former slave who became a philosophical giant, said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Think about that. If your thoughts aren't under your command, someone else is running your life. Your boss, your partner, the algorithm on your feed. They're all pulling strings you didn't even know were there. But when you take control, when you decide what lives in your mind and what gets banished, you step into a new kind of freedom. Let's make this concrete with a story. Meet Rachel, a single mom in Denver who used to live in mental chaos. She was a nurse, working 12-hour shifts, juggling bills, and raising 2 kids. Her mind was a war zone. Worries about money, guilt over not spending enough time with her kids, anger at her ex who barely showed up. Every day felt like a siege. A patient's complaint would send her into a tailspin, wondering if she was failing at her job. A late bill would keep her up at night, imagining worst-case scenarios. She wasn't just stressed. She was a prisoner in her own head. Then, during a rare quiet moment, she picked up a book on Stoicism and found a line from Marcus Aurelius: "You have power over your mind, not outside events." It was a wake-up call. She started small, practicing what she called thought triage. Every time a worry or emotion hit, she'd pause and ask, "Is this mine to carry? Does it help me or hurt me?" If it didn't help, she let it go. That bill she couldn't pay yet? Not her fault. She'd deal with it tomorrow. That patient's bad mood? Not her burden. She'd done her best. Over time, her mind became a sanctuary. She wasn't immune to stress, but she stopped letting it storm her castle. Her kids noticed she was calmer. Her co-workers saw she was sharper. And when life threw curveballs, like a sudden car repair, she didn't break. She assessed, acted, and moved on. That's mental control. It's not about never feeling anger, fear, or doubt. It's about deciding which feelings get a voice and which get silenced. So how do you build this fortress? Start with a practice. I call the 3 filters. Every thought that enters your mind has to pass 3 tests. Is it true? Is it useful? Is it kind to yourself or others? Let's break it down. Say your boss snaps at you in a meeting. Your first thought is, they hate me. I'm terrible at my job. Run it through the filters. Is it true? You don't know their mind. Maybe they're stressed about something else. Is it useful? No, it just makes you feel worse. Is it kind? Definitely not. So shut it down. Replace it with, I'll focus on my work and address this later if needed. Now you're not just thinking, you're commanding. Try this for one day. Carry a small notebook or use your phone's notes app. Every time a negative thought hits, write it down and run it through the 3 filters. You'll be shocked at how many thoughts don't make the cut. And here's the next step. Set boundaries for your mind. Just like you lock your house at night, lock your mental gates. That means no scrolling X first thing in the morning. Give your mind a clean start. No ruminating on things you can't change. Redirect your focus to what you can do. And no letting other people's drama take up space. Politely disengage. These boundaries aren't walls to hide behind. They're shields to protect what's yours. But mental control isn't just about defense. It's about offense too. A disciplined mind doesn't just block out noise. It creates signal. It thinks clearly, acts deliberately, and moves with purpose. When you filter your thoughts, you free up mental bandwidth for what matters, your goals, your growth, your mission. Imagine waking up each day with a mind so clear it's like a still lake, reflecting only what you choose. That's the power we're building here. And when you live like that, something shifts. People start to notice. They can't quite put their finger on it, but they feel it. Your calm is unsettling. Your silence is strong. You're not loud, but you're loaded. You don't broadcast your emotions, but you wield them with precision. That's what makes you dangerous, not to others, but to the chaos that tries to pull you off course. So let's make a pact right now. In the comments, write this. My mind is a locked gate. Say it like you mean it, because this is your vow. From this moment, nothing enters your mind without your command. No fear, no doubt, no noise gets a free pass. You're not just living in your fortress, you're becoming it. That's the ZENLIGHT 8 standard. We don't decorate our minds, we defend them, and we're not done yet. Up next, we're exploring the power of not reacting, how a single pause can shift the game in your favor. Stay with me, because the silence you're about to master is louder than any shout. You've built your fortress, locked the gates, and claimed your mind as your own. But now comes the real test. What happens when the world tries to storm your walls? Welcome back to ZENLIGHT 8, where we're not just navigating the chaos of 2025, we're mastering it, one deliberate choice at a time. Today we're diving into the power of not reacting, the art of staying still when everything around you screams for a response. By the end of this episode, you'll learn how a single pause can shift the game in your favor, turning your silence into a weapon stronger than any shout. Stick with me, because this isn't about being passive. It's about being in command. Let's dive in. Imagine you're in a heated meeting. Your coworker throws a jab, dismissing your idea in front of the whole team. Your pulse spikes, your face flushes, and every instinct tells you to fire back, to defend yourself, to prove them wrong. Or picture this. You send a heartfelt text to someone you care about, and hours later, it's still on red. Your mind races. Did you say something wrong? Are they ignoring you? Should you send another message? In both moments, the urge to react is overwhelming. It's like a reflex, hardwired into you by a world that equates action with strength. But what if I told you that reacting is the fastest way to lose? Every time you flinch, argue, or chase, you're handing over your power. You're letting someone else, or something else, pull your strings. The Stoics saw through this trap centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius, writing in his private journal amid the pressures of ruling an empire, said, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." That's not just wisdom, it's strategy. Because when you refuse to react, you refuse to be played. You stay in control, not of the situation, but of yourself. And in a world addicted to noise, that's a superpower. Let's break this down with a story. Meet Alex, a graphic designer in Austin who used to be an emotional landmine. Say the wrong thing, and he'd snap. Ignore him, and he'd stew. He was talented, but his reactions cost him. Missed opportunities, strained friendships, even his own peace. Last year, he pitched a big project to a client, pouring weeks into the proposal. At the presentation, the client barely looked at his work before saying, "This isn't what we're looking for." Alex felt the sting, the heat rising in his chest. His first instinct was to argue, to explain why they were wrong. But something stopped him. He'd been reading about Stoicism and remembered a line from Seneca, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." So he paused. He took a slow breath, nodded, and said, "Thanks for the feedback. I'll follow up with some revisions." That pause saved him. Later, he learned the client was distracted by a personal crisis, not his work. A week later, they called back, impressed by his composure, and signed the deal. That's the power of not reacting. It's not about swallowing your pride, it's about choosing your moment. Because when you react, you're predictable, you're readable, you're playing someone else's game. But when you pause, you rewrite the rules. You become a mystery, a force that others can't quite pin down. And that's where your strength lies. So how do you master this? Start with what I call the 5-second rule. The next time something triggers you, a snarky comment, a missed deadline, a slight from a friend, count to 5 before you do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In those 5 seconds, ask yourself, what's my goal here? Will reacting get me closer to it? Most of the time, the answer is no. Reacting feels good in the moment, but it costs you in the long run. Those 5 seconds give you space to choose. Will you let this pull you into chaos, or will you stay steady? Try this for one day, just one. When your boss emails you something vague that feels like a dig, count to 5 before replying. When your sibling pushes your buttons at dinner, pause before you bite back. You'll feel the difference. It's like stepping out of a storm into clear air. But here's the deeper layer. Not reacting isn't about ignoring your emotions. It's about owning them. You feel the anger, the hurt, the urge to fight. But instead of letting those feelings drive, you put them in the passenger seat. You decide when to act, how to act, and whether to act at all. That's what makes you dangerous, not to others, but to the triggers that used to control you. Let's take this to 2025. You're scrolling X, and someone posts a hot take that gets your blood boiling. Your fingers itch to type a reply, to set them straight. Pause, count to 5. Ask, will this comment change their mind? Or will it just drag me into a fight? 9 times out of 10, it's the latter. So you move on, your peace intact. Or say you're waiting for a job offer after a great interview. Days pass, no word. The urge to check your email every 5 minutes is real. Pause, count to 5. Remind yourself, I did my part. Their decision isn't mine to control. Then get back to your life. These moments, big and small, are where you build your edge. And when you stop reacting, something shifts. People start to respect you more, not because you're loud, but because you're steady. They can't rattle you, so they stop trying. You become the calm in the room, the one who doesn't flinch when the world throws punches. That's not just power, it's presence. So let's make a commitment right now. In the comments, write this: my pause is my power. Say it like you mean it, because this is your new code. From this moment, you don't react, you choose. You don't flinch, you observe. You don't chase, you command. That's the ZENLIGHT 8-way. We don't play defense, we play the long game. And we're not stopping here. Up next, we're diving into strategic detachment. How to care deeply without letting that care become a chain. Stay with me, because the freedom you're about to unlock is colder, cleaner, and stronger than you've ever imagined. You've learned to pause, to hold your ground when the world demands a reaction. But what happens when the things you care about, your dreams, your relationships, your ambitions, start to pull you under? Welcome back to ZENLIGHT 8-way, where we're not just surviving the chaos of 2025, we're thriving in it, with a mind sharper than steel and a heart that doesn't bleed for what it can't hold. Today, we're diving into strategic detachment, the art of caring deeply without letting that care become a chain. By the end of this episode, you'll learn how to love without clinging, strive without obsessing, and walk away without breaking. Stick with me, because this isn't about shutting off your heart. It's about setting it free. Let's get started. Picture yourself holding a rope, tethered to something you treasure, a job you've poured your soul into, a person you'd do anything for, a goal you've chased for years. Your hands grip tight because letting go feels like losing, but the rope is fraying, cutting into your palms, pulling you toward a cliff. The harder you hold, the deeper it cuts. Now imagine this. You don't let go because you don't care. You let go because you do. Because you refuse to let what you love destroy you. That's strategic detachment. It's not indifference. It's efficiency. It's the courage to care without being consumed. The Stoics mastered this balance. Seneca, writing to a friend grieving a loss, said, "You may love, but do not be enslaved by your love." Think about that. Love, ambition, passion, they're powerful, but they're dangerous when they own you. And in 2025, the world is designed to make you cling. Your phone buzzes with demands on your time. Your feed shows people living lives you're supposed to want. Your inbox piles up with expectations you didn't choose. Every ping, every post, every pressure is a rope, daring you to grab it and hold on. But the more ropes you clutch, the less free you are. Let's make this real with a story. Meet Lauren, a tech entrepreneur in Seattle who lived for her startup. She'd built it from nothing, working 80-hour weeks, sacrificing sleep, friendships, even her health. Her identity was tied to its success. When a major investor pulled out last year, it felt like a betrayal. She fought to save it. Endless calls, desperate pitches, sleepless nights trying to fix what was breaking. But the harder she clung, the worse it got. Her team burned out, her vision blurred, and she started to lose herself. One morning, staring at her reflection in a coffee shop window, she realized she wasn't fighting for her dream anymore. She was fighting to prove she wasn't a failure. That's when she turned to Stoicism. She read Epictetus. Some things are in our control and others not. She couldn't control the investor's choice, the market's shifts, or her team's limits, but she could control her response, so she made a clean cut. She stepped back, not from her startup, but from her need to make it define her. She set boundaries, no work after 8 p.m., no checking emails on weekends. She focused on what she could do, refining her product, rebuilding her team, and trusting the process. Within 6 months, her startup wasn't just surviving, it was thriving. Not because she controlled the outcome, but because she stopped letting the outcome control her. That's strategic detachment. It's not running away, it's repositioning. It's not apathy, it's clarity. So how do you practice this? Start with what I call the clean cut method. When something pulls you into an emotional spiral, a fight with a friend, a setback at work, a dream that's slipping away, pause and ask 3 questions. First, can I control this? If not, let it go. Second, does this align with my purpose? If not, walk away. Third, am I holding on out of love or out of fear? If it's fear, cut the rope. Let's try it. Say you're in a relationship that's draining you. You care about them, but every interaction leaves you exhausted. Run it through the clean cut method. Can you control their behavior? No. Does this relationship make you stronger, clearer, better? Maybe not. Are you holding on because you love them, or because you're scared of being alone? Be honest. If it's fear, it's time to detach, not coldly, but cleanly. Set boundaries, step back, and protect your peace. Try this for 1 week. Pick one thing you're clinging to, a job, a person, a goal, and run it through the clean. Cut method. Write down your answers in a journal. You'll see patterns, you'll see where your energy's leaking, and you'll start to feel lighter, because detachment isn't loss, it's liberation. But here's the deeper truth. Strategic detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care enough to protect what's yours, your time, your energy, your mission. When you detach, you're not withdrawing from life. You're zooming out, seeing the bigger picture. You're not fighting battles that don't matter. You're saving your strength for the ones that do. In 2025, this is your edge. When your coworker tries to drag you into office drama, you don't bite. You nod, smile, and move on. When your side hustle isn't growing as fast as you hoped, you don't obsess. You refine, adjust, and keep going. When the world screams for your attention, you choose where to invest it. That's efficiency. That's power. And when you live like this, people notice. They sense you're different, not because you're loud, but because you're free. You're not pulled into their chaos. You're not weighed down by their expectations. You're a force moving with purpose, unburdened by what you've let go. So let's make a vow right now. In the comments, write this: I walk light, I cut sharp. Say it like you mean it, because this is your new standard. From this moment, you don't cling. You choose. You don't bleed. You build. You don't chase. You command. That's the ZENLIGHT 8 way. We don't get tangled in ropes. We cut them clean. And we're not done yet. Up next, we're exploring dominance through absence. How stepping back can make you stronger than ever. Stay with me, because the silence you're about to wield is louder than any noise. You've learned to cut the ropes that tie you down, to care without being consumed. But what happens when you take it further? When you step back entirely, not just from chaos, but from the game itself? Welcome back to ZENLIGHT, where we're not just navigating the noise of 2025, we're rewriting the rules of power. Today we're diving into dominance through absence, the art of becoming untouchable by becoming scarce. By the end of this episode, you'll learn how your silence, your distance, your withdrawal can shift the balance in your favor, making you a force even when you're not in the room. Stick with me, because this isn't about running away. It's about commanding the space you leave behind. Let's dive in. Imagine a crowded party, everyone vying for attention, talking louder, laughing harder, posting every moment to prove they're there. Now picture someone who slips out quietly without a word. At first, no one notices, but soon the room feels different. People start whispering, "Where did they go? What are they doing? Did we miss something?" That absence, that sudden void, carries more weight than any shout. In a world addicted to presence, to likes, replies, and constant availability, the person who disappears holds the real power. Because when you step back, you break the rhythm. You force others to face the silence you've left behind. The Stoics understood this. Epictetus, reflecting on human nature, said, "We are disturbed not by things, but by the views which we take of them." When you remove yourself, mentally, emotionally, or physically, you change how others see you. You're no longer predictable, no longer tethered to their expectations. You become a question mark, a shadow they can't pin down. And that uncertainty? It's your weapon. Let's bring this to life with a story. Meet David, a lawyer in New York who used to live for the spotlight. He was always on, networking events, late-night emails, endless debates on X to prove his point. He thought visibility was power, but it drained him. He was spread thin, reacting to every slight, chasing every opportunity, always available. Last year, a major case fell apart, and he took it personally. He fought to fix it, arguing with colleagues, pleading with clients, posting rants online. It didn't work. Exhausted, he took a week off, unplugged completely. No emails, no X, no calls. At first he felt invisible, but when he returned, something had shifted. His colleagues were curious. "Where were you? We needed you." His clients were eager. "We missed your input." His silence had made him louder than ever. He realized he didn't need to be everywhere to be powerful. So he started practicing, absent strategically. He skipped meetings that didn't matter. He stopped replying to every email instantly. He left debates on X unanswered, and the less he gave, the more he gained. Respect, focus, control. That's dominance through absence. It's not about being cold, it's about being deliberate. It's not about hiding, it's about choosing when to show up. In 2025, we're drowning in noise. Your inbox is a battlefield, your feed is a shouting match, your calendar is a tug of war. Everyone expects you to be on, all the time. But when you step back, you disrupt that expectation. You create space, and in that space, power grows. People start to wonder, why aren't they reacting? What do they know that I don't? That's your leverage. So how do you practice this? Start with what I call the 24-hour vanish. Pick one area of your life where you're overexposed, a group chat that's all drama, a social platform that's all noise, a relationship that's all take and no give. For 24 hours, go silent. Don't reply, don't post, don't engage. Just observe. Notice how it feels to reclaim your time. Notice how others react to your absence. You'll be surprised. That group chat might fizzle out without your fuel. That platform might feel irrelevant without your input. That person might reach out, wondering where you went. Try this for 1 week. Pick one day to vanish from one space, and journal what happens. You'll see how much power lies in what you don't do. But here's the deeper layer. Absence isn't just about leaving, it's about positioning. When you step back, you're not retreating. You're recalibrating. You're studying the board, watching patterns, choosing your next move. Think about chess. The strongest players don't move every piece every turn. They wait, they watch, they strike when the moment's right. That's you now. You don't need to be in every conversation, every room, every fight. You show up when it counts, and when you do, it lands. In 2025, this is your edge. When your coworker tries to bait you into gossip, you smile and walk away. When your feed explodes with outrage, you stay offline. When someone tests your patience, you give them nothing, not because you're weak, but because you're playing a bigger game. And when you live like this, people start to feel your presence even when you're gone. Your absence becomes a mirror, reflecting their own noise. Back at them. That's not just power, it's mastery. So let's make a stand right now. In the comments, write this. My silence rewrites the room. Say it with conviction, because this is your new code. From this moment, you don't need to be everywhere to be felt. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to stay to win. That's the ZENLIGHT 8 way. We don't chase the spotlight, we command the shadows. And we're not done yet. Up next, we're diving into the unreadable mind. How to lock down your thoughts so no one can reach you unless you let them. Stay with me, because the mystery you're about to become is your greatest strength. You've learned to step back, to let your absence speak louder than your presence. But what if you could take it further, making your mind a vault so secure that even those closest to you can't see inside unless you choose to open the door? Welcome back to ZENLIGHT Tier 8, where we're not just surviving the chaos of 2025. We're crafting a mind so sharp, so guarded, it becomes your ultimate weapon. Today we're diving into the unreadable mind, the art of keeping your thoughts, your motives, your emotions under lock and key. By the end of this episode, you'll learn how to move through the world as a mystery, untouchable because no one can read you unless you let them. Stick with me, because this isn't about hiding, it's about holding power. Let's get started. Imagine you're playing poker, cards close to your chest, face calm, eyes steady. Across the table, your opponents are sweating, fidgeting, giving away their hands with every glance, every twitch. You, though, you're a blank slate. They can't tell if you're bluffing or holding a royal flush. That's your edge, not just in the game, but in life. In a world where everyone overshares, overreacts, and overexposes, the person who reveals nothing holds the upper hand. Because if they can read you, they can reach you. And if they can reach you, they can control you. The Stoics knew this. Epictetus, that master of mental clarity, said, "Appearances to the mind are of four kinds. Things either are what they appear to be, or they neither are nor appear to be, or they are and do not appear to be, or they are not and yet appear to be." In other words, what others see in you is often just a projection. And when you control that projection, when you choose what to show and what to hide, you control the game. Let's make this real with a story. Meet Maya, a project manager in Los Angeles who used to wear her heart on her sleeve. At work, she'd laugh nervously when she felt unsure, vent her frustrations to colleagues, even post her stresses on X for validation. She thought openness was strength, but it made her predictable. Her team knew when she was stressed. Her boss knew when she was insecure. And when a promotion came up last year, she didn't get it. Not because she wasn't qualified, but because she was too readable. Her emotions were a map, and others used it to navigate around her. Devastated, she turned to Stoicism, finding a line from Marcus Aurelius. "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break. It stands firm and tames the fury of the water." She decided to become that cliff. She stopped oversharing, stopped reacting visibly to setbacks, stopped seeking approval. At first it felt unnatural. She worried people would think she was cold, but soon she noticed a shift. Her team started seeking her input more, unsure of her stance. Her boss started respecting her decisions, intrigued by her calm. When the next promotion came, she walked into the interview unreadable, confident but not eager, prepared but not desperate. She got the job. That's the power of an unreadable mind. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being strategic. Your feelings are yours, not the world's. Your thoughts are your fortress, not a public square. So how do you build this? Start with what I call the mirror technique. The next time you're in a high-stakes moment, a tough conversation, a big meeting, a tense family dinner, imagine you're a mirror, reflecting only what you choose. Keep your face neutral, your voice steady, your words deliberate. Don't smile to fill silence. Don't laugh to ease tension. Don't explain unless it serves your goal. Just reflect. Calm, clear, unreadable. Try this for one day. Pick one. Interaction where you'd normally show too much. Maybe you'd vent to a friend or defend yourself in a debate. Instead, mirror. Listen, nod, respond minimally. Notice how it feels to hold your cards close. Notice how others react when they can't read you. You'll feel a shift, a quiet power that comes from being a mystery. But here's the deeper layer. An unreadable mind isn't just about silence. It's about intention. You're not hiding to manipulate others. You're guarding your energy to move with purpose. In 2025, oversharing is the default. People post their every thought on X, vent their frustrations in group chats, wear their insecurities in their body language. That's a blueprint for others to use. Colleagues who want your job, friends who want your attention, strangers who want your reaction. But when you're unreadable, you disrupt their map. They can't predict you, so they can't control you. Think about a time someone tried to push your buttons. Maybe a coworker made a passive-aggressive jab. Maybe a family member brought up an old wound. Your instinct was to react, to defend, to argue, to prove them wrong. But what if you gave them nothing? No frown, no retort, just a calm gaze and a change of subject. That's not weakness, it's warfare. You're letting their words fall flat, their assumptions crumble. And when you do act, when you speak, decide, or move, it lands harder because it's rare. That's your edge in 2025. When your boss questions your work, don't rush to explain. Mirror, assess, respond with precision. When your feed lights up with drama, don't jump in. Stay silent. Save your energy for what matters. When someone tries to guilt you into something, don't flinch. Reflect their words back and choose your path. You're not a book for the world to read. You're a vault, and only you hold the key. So let's make a commitment right now. In the comments, write this: "They won't read what I never wrote." Say it like you mean it, because this is your new code. From this moment, your mind is yours alone. You don't overshare. You don't overreact. You don't perform for anyone who hasn't earned it. That's the ZENLIGHT 8 way. We don't broadcast our souls. We guard them like treasure. And we're not done yet. Up next, we're diving into the untouchable state, the final form of a mind that nothing can break. Stay with me, because the strength you're about to unlock is beyond anything you've imagined. You've built a fortress, mastered your silence, and locked your mind so tight it's a mystery even to those who think they know you. But there's a level beyond all this, a place where you don't just withstand the world's chaos, you transcend it. Welcome back to ZENLIGHT 8, where we're not just navigating the noise of 2025, we're forging a mind so unbreakable it becomes your legacy. Today, we're diving into the untouchable state, the final form of a life lived on your terms. By T. The end of this episode, you'll learn how to shed the need for approval, silence the world's demands, and move through life with a strength that nothing can shake. Stick with me, because this isn't just a mindset, it's a revolution. Let's step into the void. Picture yourself standing on a mountaintop, the wind howling, the world sprawling below you. Down there, people scramble, chasing likes, fighting for validation, reacting to every slight. But up here, it's quiet. You feel the cold air, the weight of your own presence and nothing else. You're not immune to the world's storms, you just don't let them touch you. This is the untouchable state, a place where you've killed what keeps you soft, the need to be understood, the urge to explain, the hunger for approval. It's not about being cold or distant, it's about being complete. You don't need the world to love you because you've built a strength that no one can take. The Stoics called this apatheia, a mind undisturbed by passion or pain. Marcus Aurelius, reflecting on his own battles, wrote, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do, only what you do." That's the untouchable state. It's not about shutting out the world. It's about refusing to let it dictate your worth. Let's make this real with a story. Meet Ethan, a teacher in Philadelphia, who used to live for others' approval. He was the guy who stayed late to help every student, answered every parent's email, volunteered for every school event. He thought it made him strong, but it broke him. Last year, a parent complained about his teaching style, and it hit hard. He spent weeks trying to prove himself, revising lessons, seeking feedback, even apologizing for things he didn't do. But the more he tried, the worse he felt. He was losing himself to their judgment. Then he found Stoicism, reading Seneca's words. There is no reason to live under the control of others' opinions. It was a wake-up call. He decided to stop performing. He set boundaries. No emails after 6 p.m., no extra tasks unless they aligned with his goals. He stopped explaining himself to critics and focused on teaching with purpose. At first, he worried he'd seem selfish, but soon, his students respected him more for his clarity. His colleagues valued his focus, and he felt lighter, not because the world changed, but because he did. That's the untouchable state. It's not about being untouchable to pain. It's about refusing to let pain drive. You feel betrayal, loss, failure, but you don't let them steer. You adjust, you act, you move forward. So how do you reach this state? Start with what I call the approval funeral. Take a quiet moment, tonight, tomorrow, whenever you can. Grab a piece of paper and write down everything you're chasing. Approval from your boss, love from someone who doesn't see you, validation from strangers on X. Be honest. Then read it out loud and imagine burying those needs in the ground. Say to yourself, I don't need these to be whole, I choose myself. Then tear up the paper. It's symbolic, but it's powerful. You're killing what keeps you soft. Try this for 1 week. Every time you feel the urge to seek approval, to over-explain, to people-please, to post for likes, pause and remind yourself of that funeral. You've buried that need. You're free. But here's the deeper truth. The untouchable state isn't about isolation. It's about influence. When you stop needing the world starts needing you. People are drawn to your calm, your clarity, your strength. You're not loud, but you're magnetic. In 2025, this is your superpower. When your coworker gossips, you don't engage. You redirect with purpose. When your feed demands outrage, you stay silent, saving your energy for what matters. When life throws a curveball, a layoff, a breakup, a dream deferred, you don't break. You assess, adjust, and keep climbing. That's not just resilience, it's radiance. You become the calm in the storm, the fixed point in a spinning world. And when you live like this, you don't just change your life, you change the lives around you. People start to mirror your strength, your peace, your focus. That's the legacy of the untouchable state. So let's make a vow right now. In the comments, write this. My peace is not a negotiation. Say it like you mean it, because this is your final stand. From this moment, you don't compromise your strength. You don't lower your standards. You don't trade your peace for anyone's approval. That's the ZENLIGHT 8 way. We don't follow, we lead. We don't bend, we become. And now, let's bring it all together. You've walked this path, from shattering the illusion of control to claiming your mind, from mastering your silence to standing untouchable. But knowledge without action is dead weight. So let's talk about living this in 2025. Start each day with intention. Take 5 minutes every morning to journal what you can control, your effort, your attitude, your choices. Let the rest go. When the world pulls you into chaos, a toxic coworker, a breaking news alert, a personal setback, use the tools we've built. Pause with the 5-second rule. Filter your thoughts with the 3 filters. Cut ties with the clean-cut method. Vanish with the 24-hour vanish. Mirror with the mirror technique. And bury your need for approval with the approval funeral. These aren't just practices, they're your armor. They'll carry you through a world that's louder, faster, and messier than ever. But here's the real advice for today. Don't wait for permission to live this way. You don't need the world to agree. You don't need perfect circumstances. You need you, your mind, your will, your choice. So choose now. Choose to be the calm in the storm, the strength in the chaos, the light in the noise. That's what ZENLIGHT 8 is about, not just surviving, but shining. So I want you to take action right now. Subscribe to ZENLIGHT 8 if you haven't already. Turn on notifications so you never miss a weaponized idea. And in the comments, share one thing you're letting go of today. Control, approval, chaos, whatever it is. Write it down, because when you do, you're not just watching, you're becoming. Thank you for being here, for walking this path, for choosing yourself. This is ZENLIGHT 8. We don't motivate, we transform. Let's keep shining.